I just finished a fun trip on board Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas, and for this sailing, we stayed right here in cabin 8292 in Ocean View Balcony Stateroom. And today, I wanted to answer a question that even I was considering when I booked this cruise. Is an Ocean View balcony actually worth paying extra for on a short 3 or 4 night sailing? Especially on a ship like Wonder, where you've got other balcony options that are usually cheaper, like the Central Park or Boardwalk interior balconies. So in this video, I'll walk you through the space, the balcony, and then we'll talk honestly about whether this upgrade makes sense for a shorter cruise. Alright, so let's just dive right in. Cabin 8292 sits in the aft portion of Deck 8 on the port side. This turned out to be a great location. Central Park, with its beautiful gardens and quick grab coffee and food options, was right around the corner, and the Royal Promenade, with just about everything else outside of the pool decks, was only a few decks down, and it was a smooth lower ship ride most of the time. Back in the cabin, let's start with the overall layout. This is a standard Royal Caribbean Ocean View Balcony Stateroom, and right away it feels bright and open. You've got a pretty efficient footprint here. It's not massive, but nothing about it felt tight or awkward. For a short cruise, this layout works very well. Everything was within reach, and once we unpacked, the room stayed comfortable and it was easy to move around in. Let's move on to the bed and layout. The bed setup here is the usual Royal Caribbean king bed configuration, and comfort-wise, no real complaints at all. The beds can be separated into 2 twin beds if necessary. You've got nightstands on both sides with some extra storage, some small reading lights, and outlets and USB ports nearby, which is always appreciated. What really helps this room feel larger than it is, though, is the natural light coming in from the balcony door. Even when the balcony isn't in use, that light makes a big difference. Next, let's move on to the storage and closet space. Storage was more than adequate for a 3 or 4 night sailing, and I'd wager to guess this is also true on a longer 5, 7, or longer night trip. There are 2 closets on either side of the bed with hanging space and shelving, several drawers throughout the cabin, which I definitely look for, and room under the bed for suitcases. Also included is a small mini fridge that you can store various items. For a short cruise, this felt easy. We unpacked fully and still had lots of space, which is something I always appreciate. Now we'll move on to the desk and vanity area. This worked well as both a spot to get ready and a place to drop our bags, charge our devices, or even do a little work. Outlets and USB ports were conveniently placed, so no issues there. No one was fighting over the charging cables. On to the bathroom. The bathroom in this cabin is very much a standard Royal Caribbean bathroom, but really that's not a negative. You've got a nice glass door shower that was big enough to move around in, and enough counter space for toiletries. I did have some issues with the water pressure in the shower, but it wasn't a deal breaker. For a short sailing, this bathroom felt perfectly functional and never frustrating to use. This bathroom was definitely smaller than the club balcony bathroom we got to enjoy recently on the NCL Bliss, but it did the job for this trip. Let's move on out to the main event, the Ocean View Balcony. This is where the cabin really separates itself. You've got a private outdoor space with open ocean views, fresh air, and some privacy. Sitting out here in the morning or late afternoon was one of my favorite parts of the cabin experience. On a ship as large and as busy as Wonder of the Seas, having your own quiet outdoor space feels like a luxury, even on a short cruise. One important thing to mention about this specific 3-day cruise is that we really weren't at sea very much. We were in port each day, so this wasn't one of those sailings where you've got long sea days just watching the ocean roll by. Because of that, the balcony probably matters a little less than it would on a longer cruise. That said, I still really appreciated having it. It gave us a private outdoor space away from the crowds, and we also caught this genuinely beautiful sunset from the balcony. one of those moments that's hard to put a price on. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit about the other balcony options on board, and this is where I think these Oasis ships get really interesting. On this ship, you can also book a Central Park balcony or Boardwalk balcony, and those are often noticeably cheaper. Those interior balconies overlook the neighborhoods inside the ship. Central Park is more of a calm, green, and quieter space, while the Boardwalk area is livelier, especially at night. They are, of course, great options, and they still do give you a balcony, but they are very different experiences. They can come with more noise, depending on the location and the time of the day, and you may feel like you're giving up some of your privacy. With an Ocean View balcony, you're going to get open skies and ocean views, fresh sea air, more privacy, and a stronger I'm actually cruising type of feeling. With interior balconies, you're trading that for a lower cost and a more social atmosphere, but for some people that trade-off is totally worth it. So let's return to that original question. Is an Ocean View balcony worth it for a 3 or 4 night sailing? Honestly, this is where personal cruising style really matters. If you plan to be out in the ship from morning until night, doing shows, dining, and activities nonstop, which honestly is very easy to do on a ship like this, you may not use the balcony enough to justify the price. For a short, port-heavy sailing like this one, I probably wouldn't say an Ocean View balcony is a must. But if you value privacy, need some extra quiet moments, and things like sunsets and fresh air, it still adds something meaningful, even on a quick trip. So the final verdict, would I book this Ocean View balcony again on a short sailing? Well, yeah, probably, but only if the price made sense. If the difference between this and an interior balcony was small, I'd absolutely choose the Ocean View again. If the price gap was big, however, I'd probably more seriously consider a Central Park or Boardwalk interior balcony instead, and put those savings towards experiences on board. Either way, this cabin was comfortable, bright, and a really nice place to recharge on an incredibly busy ship. And if you want to see what the rest of Wonder of the Seas is like outside of the cabin, I've got a full ship tour you can watch next. Now, if you found this walkthrough helpful, help me out and hit that like button, and also consider subscribing. It really helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on board again soon.